Coach, what are your memories of Eric Matros as a teammate?
Well, out of respect for the family, I made a statement the other day that he was more than my teammate, he was my friend. And I'm just devastated and sad for him and his family.
It's been a rough month for the program in terms of losses, yourself personally as well. How are you putting that? Is that kind of something that you talk about with the players and what it means for the Carolina family and to carry on in honor of those?
I do. I mean, I share a number of stories with the guys about the history of this program, and in particular, my uncle and Eric.
What are the last couple of days of practice been like? Obviously, trying to get back into the column. What are the last few days been like?
It's been good. It's been good practices and leading up to playing a really good Oklahoma team, and just trying to put us in a position to be able to play a really good game and to play our best.
The team's no stranger to this event. I mean, the excitement of coming down here, and there'll be lots of blue in the building inside Spectrum Center. Something that you guys can maybe draw from?
Well, we love playing here in Charlotte. I mean, obviously this is Tar Heel country, and it's great to have our fans there. And I do remember last year when we played Michigan, just the support that we had in that game and what a benefit and what a help it was to us.
Hubert, what do you think about just kind of the whole structure of this event and the way it's been put together? You obviously play all over the country. How does this compare to some of the other events you've participated in?
Well, it's a great event. Obviously, I love it here in Charlotte, but just to be affiliated with the Jordan brand and having the competition amongst other schools that represent the Jordan brand is something that is a huge benefit for us. Anytime you get a chance to compete against the best in the country, that's something that helps us become the best that we can be. And whether it's the Champions Classic, the Jordan Classic, the ACC, SEC Challenge, it gives us an opportunity to get better as a team and continue to grow.
Even specific to the Jordan brand, coming in as North Carolina representing the Jordan brand, how much does that mean to the team, to yourself, to the players?
Well, it means a great deal, obviously, because Michael went to North Carolina, so having the school that he went to and representing not only the school and the program, but also him and the way and his commitment to the game, commitment to being a teammate and to winning and the preparation and the playing. And so obviously that's a motivational part for us to live up to what Michael has done, not only for the Jordan brand, but for the University of North Carolina.
Hubert, what were some of the things you noticed on the field after the Kentucky game and in your conversations with the players in those film sessions?
Yeah, well, I mean, we just, I always say that, turnovers are one or two things. It's either selfishness or carelessness, and it's never selfishness. It was all carelessness. And to have a team that, we, for the most part, have done a really good job of taking care of the basketball with the exception of Kentucky. And so we've got to just do a better job of making the easy play. And, we've got to make some tweaks and some pivots in terms of putting ourselves in a better position to rebound the basketball. But at the end of the day, it really has nothing to do with technique. It's all about will and want to, and we have to become a better rebounding team in order to win the games that we want to win.
To go off of that, I guess with the offensive rebounds in particular, what's kind of the key to preventing those second chance opportunities for?
Well, one of the things that I always tell the guys is they have to make contact first. It's physicality. It's not technique. It's will, want to, and the hardest guys to box out or the hardest guys to keep from boxing out are smaller guys. So it doesn't have anything to do with size. It's just about a will and a want to hold teams to one shot every possession. And when we do that, and when we did that against Kentucky, that's allowed us to get back into the game because we were able to get out and transition.
One of the unique things about this tournament in particular is having the experience with the women's programs. What is the impact of that?
Well, I think it's great to have the women's programs here as well, and unfortunately we don't get a chance to interact with them very much because of our schedules are different. But to be in the same type of event and to be able to represent our university on the same platform is really a cool deal for us, and I really like it. Last year we were in the same tournament out in Portland, and I thought that was a lot of fun as well.
What's unique kind of about Oklahoma? Obviously, they've gotten off to a 10-0 start this year, cracked the top 10. What makes them a unique team? What are the main challenges?
I think the number one thing is they're a team. They play together on both ends of the floor. They're top 15 offensive efficiency and defensively. They know their roles and they accept their roles, and they're playing with tremendous confidence. So it'll be a great test for us tomorrow night, but we're really looking forward to the challenge.
Kentucky was really physical against you guys, and I know Oklahoma likes to be physical as well. Are there similar challenges you'll face tomorrow night?
Well, I mean, Tennessee was physical, Villanova was physical, Arkansas was physical, Northern Iowa was physical, and so we've played in physical games, and not only do we have to match that physicality, we're the ones that have to give it out. And whether it's rebounding, whether it's getting to the offensive glass or getting open, setting screens, those are the things you have to do, and those are the similar things that I told the team before the Kentucky game. In order to have success, you have to have success in the trenches, and that's the physicality part that has to be won.
You mentioned will and want to. As a coach, how do you instill that in your team in practice every single day?
Well, just continue to give them a clear picture of what it takes in order to be successful individually and as a team, encouraging them, motivating them, getting on them, hugging them, anything that puts them in a position to be at their best. And those are things that we do on a daily basis to help our guys out, max out everything that they have to put out there on the floor.
How would you assess, obviously basketball is a physical game. You mentioned some of the teams that play with a lot of physicality. How would you kind of assess the way that I guess you all have responded to that in those kind of ways?
I feel like we've responded to it well. I think we can always get better. We're only 10 games into the season, and every game I feel like we as a team learn more and more about each other in terms of what we need to do in terms to improve on and the things that we do well. But I think from a physicality standpoint, we've done a nice job, but we have a lot more room to grow.
How do you assess how the team's dealt with the mismatches that have come with the switching that you're doing? There was a lot of size disparity in certain matchups at the end of possessions against Kentucky.
Yeah, I don't think it's hurt us at all in terms of scoring in the post. Maybe a couple times in terms of rebounding, being in position because of size, tip outs, keeping balls alive, maybe in those situations. But things that we've done defensively, whatever scheme that you play, there's things that allows you to take things away, and then there's things that you give up, and those are tweaks and pivots that I've looked at and that I'm going to make to put us in better positions to hopefully rebound better.
How do you view tomorrow's game in terms of the vast expanse of the season in general, given the results against Kentucky and UConn? Now, this is another really good opportunity for you all to become a big one.
Well, what do you mean?
What's the level of urgency to get a win tomorrow before Christmas and go out before Christmas on a good note?
There's an urgency to win because it's our next game. There's not an urgency to win because it's almost Christmas, and there's not an urgency to win because this is our 11th game in the season. I don't see that at all. It's an urgency, the same urgency the first game of the season. We have a game tomorrow night, and we'd like to win.
Is there a common thread in the last three halves? Mondo hasn't gotten a lot of offense. Is there something his teammates need to be doing differently, something he needs to be doing differently, or something that the other teams are doing to him?
Well, I think teams, know that. I think two things. One, he's a guy that can score consistently down on paint, but he's also somebody that can draw a lot of fouls, which allows us to get to the free throw line, and that's one of the many things that we have done really well is get to the free throw line and make free throws. And so in order to limit his touches, keep him from scoring, keep him from drawing fouls on opposing bigs, is something that if I were the opponent, I would try to do as well. And so those are things that you have to adjust to and tweak and pivot and change in order for Armando to be effective out there. And look for him to have a really good game tomorrow night.
Anybody else? All right, great. Go get the guys.